Okay, now we're into the exam room, and Ryan, I'm going to just pull this off of the tripod here so I can kind of get a better view. And let's do an intake of Mitch. And
yeah, I work out weights 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, and sometimes I do yoga.
Okay, perfect.
I do cardio. I'm
just going to look at everything that I picked for that.
Okay.
We looked at, we'll just go through all that and look at you, and then we'll pick a protocol.
Okay.
Go ahead and lay down.
I should wear my sweater?
Now remove all your clothing, Mitch.
Lay on your back.
It has nothing to do with the exam, just for the video. We want to post it on the internet.
I'm just going to look at the position everything's sitting in. Okay, so that's locked up. This should go to the table.
That should.
This should hit the table.
That's all my benching probably.
Yeah, that's overactive.
My anterior, my
overactive
bicipital tendonitis some years ago.
Yeah, overactive here, overactive here, overactive here, pulling this forward, and these guys are
Yeah.
overactive.
Okay.
So this one locked up too. So here this is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an impingement. That's
Yeah.
not muscle. Right? Would you agree? I mean,
Yeah.
that if I took it, if I held this down and went something have to break,
Yeah.
it's not a muscle that's holding you. You gotta see, but you do yoga. Tell me the pulls.
Well, I haven't been doing yoga. I'm
Okay.
very tight right now. That's maxed.
Perfect.
So you'll see it. Maxed. That's very inflexible.
I just want to see how we're doing. So, well, here, this is good. So if you look at him, see how both ribs kind of stick out a little bit? This one sticks out more than that one.
Okay.
I mean, you can feel that one sticks out more than that one. This one kind of goes down, this one pokes out. So there's that left diaphragm sits right underneath there.
Okay.
There's his right diaphragm that's a little more down, so he's got opposition to his diaphragm over here a little bit, so he can breathe a little bit better on this side. And I can show you, well, okay, we can do that too.
Okay.
You can see how you
So you press down while he tries to breathe in.
Well, we can. Let me look at these real quick, and then we can do that. Yeah, you're just tight through everything, aren't you? Lay on your right side. So this is what I mean by, this is extension, so he's really overdeveloped back in his paraspinals, which helps pull those ribs out. Then he's got overactive chest and stuff pulls him forward, overactive levator in the neck. Hamstrings that are screaming to keep holding him up. So feel that catch.
Yeah.
You can see it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get.
that's a positive test.
I get pain. I get pain back here. My hips, my butt is usually what spasms in, and then I get low back pain right in the center.
Yeah, so but you feel that lock?
Mhm.
That's all. So far, you're positive through everything.
Okay.
Flip over on the other side.
So I'm not like a perfectly balanced specimen.
Well, you actually are pretty balanced right to the left a little bit, but you're not balanced flexion to extension, which I'll just clean that here to say, man, you are not.
You've got a lot more range of motion. With that leg going down, it almost touches the table.
Relax like this one. So this one goes down further. Well, almost all the way down. But
Is that because I use it more?
it's because you always go over here. So you shift your weight over. You always have to adduct on your right hip.
Okay.
Your left side, you never go over here.
So your
'Cause
pelvis,
you really can't. You have to extend your back to do it.
so the left pelvis is pushed forward then, towards the right.
Rotate over. But do you feel the difference between those two?
Yeah, I get a lot more range.
Solid. That's all we gotta look at.
Okay. That's it.
That's all we gotta look at.
So now we're going to go over to the machine.
Well, we'll make it work a little bit. Those things we kind of.
Are you clicking this?
Let's see.
It's just like this machine I saw on the internet. Oh, I actually have to work. Is this the only one here right
Now
now?
here we are with the only ZoneRX in the world right now. This is the prototype.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. There are about 6 changes to it.
That's what I heard.
Let's just do that. All right. Go for a ride, just like. That's pretty loud. Hopefully it's not.
So you've got a light bar up above here that has a series of lights on it that will guide Mitch in positioning. So this will be placed right over his eyes. As he presses down on certain sensors with his heel and his low back.
So first thing I'm gonna have you do is I want you to actually put your hands right on those ribs that stick out. I want you to breathe in, I want you to blow out, and I want you to push your back right down into my hand. There, okay, I want you to hold that on. So I want you to keep that light on through this whole sensor. Just breathe a few times right there. Breathe in through your nose, not your mouth.
My abs are tightened up, obviously, to do that.
So when he pushes back in, the light on that light bar came on, showing that he was pushing in the right position.
So you feel a little harder to breathe there, right? Breathe in through your nose and blow out your mouth. Now I want you to dig your heels straight down, and I want you to lift your butt. Put your butt off the table to keep both lights on. And I want you to try to keep your thighs touching the bottom, touching the seat. Feel your hamstrings turn on?
Yeah.
Just breathe right
My
there.
hamstrings are my abs.
Just breathe there for them. Try to keep your feet flat on those foot plates.
Wow, it's like right in the middle of the hamstrings.
Have these hamstrings gotten weakened from compensating, or
His hamstrings would be, they're long.
they're long?
They're too long.
They're too long.
We checked your hamstring length and it was tight. It's because your pelvis goes forward. Pelvis goes forward, so your hamstring actually go on tension. So when you go and you lay on your back and you go like this, they appear tight and short. So you'd think to stretch them, but we're not going to stretch them.
They feel better if I work my quads?
They'd get worse.
Okay.
So right now you have him flattening his low back into the table onto that sensor, and this light has come on.
Doing all right.
Sometimes when
And
I
you
work...
have him pulling down with his heel here, keeping his feet flat.
You doing okay?
Yeah. I feel a little fatigued, that's fine.
I'm going to have you dig down a little harder, lift your butt a little higher. Hold that right there, and I want you to push your left knee
In?
Yep.
Towards what direction?
towards your right leg. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There. Stay right
See that
there.
light came on?
And just breathe right there.
Now you got 3 lights on.
You feel your left groin turn on?
Yeah.
Just breathe right there. Keep all 3 lights on and breathe.
People have to experience this to know how it's realigning and creating a new pattern.
Now, I'm gonna change your protocol just because of what we found in there.
I'm special?
I'm gonna have you lift this leg off. Hold that right there. Keep all 3 lights on and breathe.
Wow, this is hard. And it's like using stuff that's like not ready for this. This is different.
Keep the lights on. You're pushing with your low back into the floor of the bed, pulling down with the heels on these sensors. You're pushing to the right with this left leg on this sensor here.
Now place this leg back down. Keep this heel down, and we're going to push this knee out. Hold that there.
Now you push that out, and the 4th light comes on, which
You feel
is
your
the right
butt turn
knee.
on? Is your right butt working, Mitch?
Not a lot, maybe a little bit. They're outside of it a little.
And that's the one problem with this. This needs to be further out.
Okay.
So the new ones will.
Now, if I push it harder, my right butt's work.
Yeah,
My butt's
go ahead,
working.
push it harder.
Don't?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Is there a time?
Do you feel that realigning the low back and the pelvis?
This is very like a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it.
I felt the same way. I could not explain it, what it was doing, the realignment,
And relax.
right where I've had the
Of
problem.
everything?
Relax everything.
Just relax.
We'll do it again. So now,
Jeez.
now that
How long was that period he just went through?
right, too long.
Probably too long?
Mitch, you work out 3 days a week. We can do a little more on you, right?
Sure. Now, when I go to the gym and I do legs and I train hamstrings, sometimes my back goes out.
Yeah, you train your back.
Okay.
You don't train your hands.
I notice sometimes when I
Show
try
us
to
that
do
move again. I want to get that on video. Show us.
Yeah.
So when he's working his hamstrings, he's actually working his back.
basically for me, is what you're saying.
Yeah, people just like you in your pattern. Because you go to the gym, you train in extensions.
I exacerbate imbalances at
Yep,
the gym.
You train in extensions.
So
You know,
many
all
people
those
do.
squats.
I don't squat anymore.
Why
I
not?
can't.
Why not?
'Cause
Backwards.
Why not?
if I squatted, I'd be in a wheelchair.
I mean, but
My
because
back.
look at all the stuff we do when we're younger. That puts us in that pattern. Like I did a ton. Like I get neck problems just because I did so much lifting when I was younger. All chest and lats and legs. You know, but in a gym, you're in one plane of motion. The sagittal plane. That's all that's in that gym. There's 3 in life. So even when you go curl, you're just standing there. You're doing one plane of motion, which is just this. Ready to go again?
Yes.
And then we'll go check in. Go ahead and blow out. Blow air out through your ribs. Drop down. Get that back light to turn on. Push it down in there.
So you push the low back into the floor on the sensor
now it's
down.
lit up, baby.
Keep your hips against these pads, and I want you to dig your heels down and lift your butt. Get your butt up higher. Hold that right there. Keep both lights on. Good. You should almost feel a little stretch in your back.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
Mild stretch in the
Just
back.
breathe right there.
Now, you're not having him push with his knees at this point on these sensors.
So I'll have you do 4 or 5 breaths with those 2 sensors on, and then we'll turn on the third one. So at least he can go through all 4 sensors. A lot of patients won't be able
They
to
can't
turn
make it.
one on for a while. And then I'll have to just work at that, and have to turn 2 on, and just learn to breathe. Now turn your left sensor on. Good. Groin turn on.
Yep.
Hold that right there and breathe.
Feel it all the way up to my left knee. I mean, I can feel it actually almost in the knee.
Do you feel your left or right hamstring?
Well, I'm flexing both.
I want you to take your right leg off.
Off?
Yeah. Lift it up.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now what's your knee doing there?
My right knee.
Left knee.
It's working.
Does it feel okay?
You feel it in my left butt cheek.
Good. That's okay. Hold that right there and just breathe. Harder to breathe in.
A little bit, yeah. Feel it in my adductors, my abductors, everything.
I want you now I'm gonna have you breathe 4 times. I want you to breathe in through your nose, blow everything out and pause. But don't breathe in, just sit there. Just sit there. Breathe in through your nose. Blow everything out and pause. Hold that there. Breathe in through your nose. Blow it all out and pause. One more breath. Blow everything out, everything out, everything out. Sit there. Breathe in through your nose. And relax.
Now, you were training him.
I didn't need to do the right knee at the end.
No, well, on this, it's just not set up right for you.
Okay.
The new ones will have it go out a little further out, so you can kind of cheat on this guy.
Okay.
So you don't really need it.
But what he should- the reason
for
he's
your
have-
issue, you don't really need it.
Now, is
The
that
reason
it?
he's having you breathe like you're breathing is to retrain
like
your
dumb.
diaphragm.
I would do that,
You can do as much as you want.
but ideally, a realistic protocol would be 3 times a week, maybe 5, depending on. And in your institute here, for a patient that comes here, what would you charge me to come to your office?
I don't know how to answer.
Let me just,
It's part of like a whole protocol.
let me focus this video on the clinical side, and I'll answer that
Okay, no
question in
problem.
just a minute.
Because it's we're set up a little different here because we do this stuff all day long.
Okay, so it's part of a whole program.
Right now, Mitch, can
Now
you
what?
try to explain what you just experienced?
You know, it felt,
You feel your left leg?
yeah, it felt awkward, and then it kind of felt good.
And he's going to show you the range of motion.
So once you get done, then we just check you. So,
It even affects the
Really?
shoulders.
does that make sense?
The whole diaphragm,
What?
yes, affects the shoulders, the
That's
neck.
weird.
That's insane.
So is that different?
Look at that.
Does that make sense?
Oh my god, my range of motion is.
So you gained what, 100 or maybe
100%.
95
Oh.
degrees on your
Yeah.
rotation?
Unbelievable.
Pulling. So you gained a little
Wow.
bit there. Okay. That's about perfect.
That's using like a stretch reflex, sort of, right?
Well, no, I'll show you. This one's still a little tight because we didn't have that right butt.
Let's see the range of motion where he turns on his side. I
Yeah,
want to.
go and lay on your right side. This is what I need to see too on you. because we can alter. So this is where you come back and you just look to see.
This is the one that had nothing.
Yep.
You had nothing. Oh my goodness.
Ow, that would hurt,
Yeah,
hurt
right
me a
there.
little bit.
You're
Right
not
there.
you're not quite there. Does that
No.
make
It hurt right there a little
sense? So
bit, which is
you'd
weird.
have to do it a little more. Does that make sense? You're not quite.
But there's a heck of a lot more. There's
So it's
huge
at least
So that's what
twice.
you'd look at, and then you'd figure out. Okay, so then there's a troubleshooting page.
Okay.
Say you do that for 3 times a week, or say you do 6 times, and you come in, and then whoever, the doctor, or whoever is looking at you, goes through it again. Okay, so you're not neutral here. So then you go to a troubleshooting page, and you say, okay, why?
Now, on the neurocare, just to be analogous, when we do a treatment, we recommend people wait 3 hours before they do the next one. With this one, how long would you wait?
We can go do it again right now if you want.
Okay, but twice a day would be more productive than once a day, right? If patient had the
Yeah,
time.
you could do as much. I mean,
Well, I mean, there's a point where it
The
becomes.
first time I was treated, I had one treatment. I went home. I had my best night's sleep in 3 years after my first treatment.
So I can do another one before we split out of here today.
yeah.
Why
I can
did
show
this
you
affect his
See how
shoulder?
much we could really train my.
Well,
The
I'll show you
entire
that.
diaphragm also pulls on the rib cages, which pulls on the shoulders. And so people with shoulder problems, frozen shoulder, etc., have you found a correlation with this misalignment with the whole diaphragm involvement?
Well, sure. I mean, just like in him, when you took a breath, when you were in there breathing, we saw this expand. We saw your thorax expand. You always expand here.
So this has physiological implications for anti-aging that go way beyond the short-term musculoskeletal benefit. Because you're causing there's going to be effects on the meridians. There's going to be effect on
Sure.
Oxygenation,
oxygenation.
neurological.
This is going to be very synergistic with chiropractic. Everything that chiropractic kind of wants to do, and it talks about alignment's going to improve your asthma and all this stuff.
And
I mean,
that's where
this is really.
like for me. Like I'm a PT, and I would see this more in a chiropractic or DO type practice than a PT practice because I'm a PT and we learn how to stretch, but I've never stretched anything. So just keep your body balanced when you take a step. One thing turns on. You should always be the same.
Well, if I went to an athletic trainer, he would have to work with me one-on-one for an hour and a half, using stretch reflexes and stuff to get half the flexibility improvement you just got. Is that a good assessment?
Oh yeah. If they would even be able to get that.
Right, but they could be having me squeeze against it and doing.
So think about your baseball pitchers.
So Mitch, once you get trained,
Daughter's boyfriend is
you're
having
now,
that.
once you get trained on this device, you can come in, get on the machine yourself, and with the biofeedback and the biofeed forward
Then you have trainers
technology,
stretch
it will train you
impingement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boom.
how to carry forward in the future is how you hold your body.
So you're basically just-
That was really weird.
So,
I can't believe how much of a range of motion improvement I just got.
That was very strange.
I don't think my body's ever. And now, would you expect from
Now,
one treatment?
do you want to mess up? Let me show you something else. Well, we can mess you up real quick. I want to show you this because you can. I mean, this
And
is how
then-
fast a pattern is.
Well, how long would you suspect from one treatment? Do you think I would in 6 hours would I have that range still?
I don't know. Well,
You don't know. Hard to tell.
Well, it just depends how fast you learn.
There should be some residual though, right?
You'll be a
From the
little
next
worse
day?
because you're so trained. You're trained to do that. So you'll need a little bit more.
How would you
Because
mess them up?
you'd be
But when
more-
I come back tomorrow and I do another session, is it likely? Do you usually see each session a small amount of
should be a little
progression?
bit of grit, a little bit.
Okay.
You just kind of get a little bit less. So maybe you come in tomorrow and you got 35.
Okay.
So
And
you
there's
got
usually
10.
some residual from before too, though. So that what you're saying, there's some.
Should be.
Okay.
Should.
How do people
But
get-
some people there's not. I mean, some people they come in, they're exactly the same, and you go through 3 to 6 treatments. Hey, you're not changing. Something's wrong.
So those people would do better more often, also possibly.
Possibly. Or there's something
Is it
wrong.
that they're
Like, you have a
standing
foot
and
problem.
they're standing?
We'll talk. We can talk about that.
Is,
You'll have a hard time because you have a little bit of a calcaneal problem. You have high arches and your calcaneal rolls in too much because of your extension. So you would benefit if we put you in a good stable tennis shoe.
You mean a sneaker?
Yeah, like a good stable running shoe, yeah. Maybe even orthotic. Just because you're naturally born with high arches, and that's why your knee hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't even know I had a foot issue.
Well, it's just a pattern. I mean,
Okay,
like,
it's a
like
pattern.
I can show you. If you stand up, your toe don't extend. Which it needs to extend when you walk.
so how would you mess up, not that we want to do this, but
that
just...
stuff, I mean, that stuff, like in that protocol, I'll just be like, hey, after 6 treatments, if you are still not coming in neutral, which that's why I don't think you'll come in neutral tomorrow, you'll come in locked up at your hip because of your foot.
Would you want to see this ideally done before or after neurocare? Or does it depend on that?
It would depend on the patient, and it would be.
You're going to be able to relax spasms before with NeuroCare, but most of the patients are going to take the machine home, relax spasms, help to re-educate and increase the girth of these muscles, because this whole skeletal misalignment doesn't float in a vacuum. But it's not just the muscles; it's the diaphragm, it's the whole rib cage and the whole combination.
As a generality, I mean, if you're working in a pain clinic setting, and if the doctor would like these new pain patients to benefit from the alignment from the ZoneRX and also using the NeuroCare on an acute musculoskeletal issue.
Yeah, and that's where, like in an acute pain setting, absolutely, you could do a NeuroCare for just to get them toned down. Because you'll get somebody that's
you can do NeuroCare first.
Sure, you're gonna get somebody, people that are just, like they're so toned up and they're hurt.
I have a hard time on here.
And you put them down there, and they just, they just can't get it. Because like some patients, I put them there, they'll have a hard time turning on one leg.
My back doesn't feel as tight right now. Does that make sense?
Sure, you got loose.
My lower back.
Mm-hmm. So
it's very time efficient.
But does that make sense?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, when we treated him before with the NeuroCare, his thoracic region of his back was very hard in spasm, and it had to do with the fact that his low back probably had too much curve.
Yeah, you were really tight in that one.
Yeah, he was in spasm up
on that
above.
one side.
See,
that's from this. Does that make sense? You're here. Those guys can't shut off. This little booger right here on you, that's your life support. You've
For breathing and
taught
everything.
him to be your life support.
You've taught him to breathe that way?
You don't have this guy. He don't exist on you.
which muscle's that?
This little bottom low trap
Below
doesn't exist on you.
My lower trap.
Your lower trap. Your upper trap, mid trap, rhomboids, your later, they love you.
Lower.
Your pecs love you. Your
You know what it
lats
is?
love you.
Ready? Lift and separate.
But look what you got to do to do that.
Man.
So how would I develop my lower trap?
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
the problem. You just pulled your ribs out.
Yeah.
So
You're
how
If
would
you
I
don't
get-
have the underneath in a position to be able to do that, you'll just feed a pattern.
So how would I get hypertrophy in my lower trapezius?
Well, you
Without-
need to maintain a position so you can go do something like that or pull out. You need triceps to balance out your. You need a tricep to balance out and turn on a low trap, but you need to do it in a position of flexion, not extension.
So engage the core.
So you-
lift
yeah,
and
you're gonna have
separate.
to-
Engage the triceps.
So like using the core, doing tricep pushdowns while engaging the core.
Yeah. So you should have no air in your system. Exactly
then-
opposite of how you lift.
So almost like exhaling and then doing.
Blow till you feel your core. So your ribs kind of go down, and then try to do it.
Oh, instead of. It's how most people.
Which is exactly opposite of how you lift. Because why do you think
Okay.
you lift like that? You're stronger.
So in order to effectively get doctors to understand this device, we need to show them a video like of what just transpired. Because
Absolutely.
any doctors that know me would see the improvement in my flexibility, they're all going to want to have that for their patients. It's not even a question.
It's remarkable. With the shoulders, it was incredible. So what blew me away was the benefit for my range of motion with my shoulder
mess you
problem.
up. I'll show you how fat. And this is where some of the breathing, like that breathing is so important. Like, at the end there, when I just made you just sit there. You need to sit and exhale, and they just need to sit there and let their body kind of reset. Then they need to breathe in. So they learn how to breathe differently. Because if I just have you just take some big, huge breath in through your mouth, just you'll be locked up again.
So I'll undo everything we just did.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
So you suggest I don't breathe until tomorrow?
Just blow your air out and live like that for a while. But just think, when we're little kids, what do? When we go stand in front of
Everyone's
a
holding their breath.
Yeah, they're walking around with the breath held.
Yeah.
They never do this.
And hold it.
Look how much air you still have. I mean, I'm still talking, and I haven't taken a breath yet.
Yeah.
Still going. We got air forever.
Yeah.
We don't use it.
Yeah.
Look, still going. Still going, still going. Keep going forever. And then finally,
It's very hard to blow
now
all
I
the...
felt my back expand.
When your rib cage is expanded out and your pelvis is tilted forward, it's very hard to blow all the air out of your lungs.
It is. Well, it is, especially standing up, because you want to use your back.
Yeah.
So in order to get all your air, you have to disengage your back, which is what you did there. You just shut your back off and used your abdominals to hold a position to allow you to breathe into your chest wall, which made your shoulders sit down, which allowed it to rotate. You put your scapula you put your airplane here on a runway flatter. Your runway was up. So it couldn't sit, it had to sit.
Skeletally, there was no way. It wasn't a muscle issue.
Yeah, it wasn't a muscle
So that,
issue.
Yeah.
that affected
The
everything.
only
Affected
thing,
my shoulders,
muscles
my
hold
hips.
it there. So it's a skeletal issue and we measure it, but it's a
Muscle-
muscle pattern.
And it continues to pull.
It's why with the chiropractor, you get adjusted, but by the time you get back to your car, you were doing the same thing you were
Just
doing
gonna
when you
change
went
the
in
muscles.
there. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So that-
adjustments must work a lot better in combination with this because they hold.
Because you're
Well,
retraining your
Would you adjust before or
diaphragm.
after this?
I would adjust before. Adjust, get on there, train how to stay there. Instead of
Okay,
adjust to go home.
that's what I
Okay,
wanted to
let's
hear.
think about this
Okay.
scenario. NeuroCare adjust ZoneRX or adjust NeuroCare ZoneRX?
He
That
said
would-
if
that would
they're
depend
acute,
on the patient.
if they're an
Okay.
acute patient and they show up and you need to calm them down before they even get
Yeah,
on that,
NeuroCare.
Yep.
you're going to relax the spasms with the neural care.
You're toned up so bad, let's put you on NeuroCode and let you relax for a little bit. Just breathe, sit there on that. Now, hey, let's go see if we can get you to start shutting things off.
Okay.
Now, if your hips start to tighten up, you know how the hip flexors tighten because your left pelvis is pushing towards the right, so the hip flexors tighten to pull you back, so you can walk straight. Now, if they start to tighten when you get home, you can relax that with the neural care and neuromuscular re-educate.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Cut.